Whoa, dude, that's quite the title. Quite a bold thing to say, isn't it, Mr. YouTuber? Yes, it is I, the pseudo-intellectual YouTube commenter who has come specifically to tear you off your throne, you pleb of plebs. You money-grubbing otaku wannabe who knows nothing of the finery of anime.
Damn.
Prepare for 13 seconds of mild annoyance as I leave my smug opinion before actually watching this video and then scamper off back to my Reddit hidey hole.
I hate that guy. Hello and welcome back to Bonsai Pop. My name is Mike. This is a video on Attack on Titan.
I think you mean
Shingeki No Kyojin.
Sir?
Yes, that franchise. Look guys, I'm gonna be real with you. I am a pretty big fan of Attack on Titan. However, that doesn't have much to do with the video at all. In fact, whether or not the show is good has nothing to do with the premise of the subject that we're going to be discussing today. What we are going to be looking at is the show's impact on the West and pop culture as we know it after its 2013 anime debut, as well as the history leading up to that point. Why it worked, what made it work, and why it's still relevant today despite so many people complaining about season 3 for whatever reason. Now look, there's obviously no doubt that Attack on Titan is incredibly popular and it has been incredibly popular, but like I've said in the past, why something is so popular is almost more important socially than its popularity as a whole. So let's do some anime anthropology and see if I can convince you of the fact that yes, Attack on Titan is the most important anime of the last decade. I first saw Attack on Titan in 2014 on Netflix. I was in my early 20s and about to start college 5 years later than anticipated. For the first time in what felt like a long time, I was reminded of why I loved anime so much. The gratuitous violence and gore, the universe only a Japanese person could construct, the hope within hopelessness. I loved the show. What I didn't realize was that I was taking part in a cultural phenomenon. To give some background on that phenomenon, let's back up. 2009 was a bad year. It was the beginning of the Great Recession, which followed the global financial crisis of 2008. People was broke. I myself was homeless and there was no jobs nowhere for no ones. I know because I was looking. It was in this year that Hajime Isayama's Attack on Titan found its manga debut in Kodansha's Basatsu Shonen magazine. But that was the least of my concerns. In fact, at that time, I wasn't doing much except stealing Cheetos from my buddy when he was asleep so I could continue living. But in Japan, it was a big deal. The manga flew off the shelves, and by 2011, Isayama's Shingeki No Kyojin was winning awards left and right. At that time, stateside, we had found ourselves turtleneck deep in the geek bubble, also widely coined geek chic. See, starting in the late 90s, early 2000s, we began to see an influx of comic book movies, sci-fi flicks, novel adaptations like The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars prequels, Harry Potter films, even film adaptations of anime like Dragon Ball Evolution. Be them good or very, very bad. The box office saw the numbers and they were like, okay, more of that, please. It should come as no surprise that Hollywood movie studios have wads of cash bigger than your car, but what that means for their advertising is huge. The budget for Avengers Endgame was $356 million. That's about what you're predicted to make in 178 lifetimes if you're a straight white male. But that was just their production budget. Their advertising budget was $200 million. Studios use that money to smoosh upcoming blockbusters into your mind until you have to see them because they're going to be so cool and everyone is talking about them. However, after these films, there's always a trickle-down effect. You will inevitably find people actually taking interest in the subject matter of the films and branching off into consuming and exploring the original subject material. This is actually a good thing because reading has been declining steadily for a long time now, and the average American reads about 17 minutes and 40 seconds a day for pleasure, which is really low, lower than the already low 21 minutes they read in 2003. Apparently, the average American is a real two-pump chump.
Jim?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
But movies make more money than books on average, so sharing that wealth with a more niche medium is definitely a positive thing, and I can't believe books are a niche medium. Goddamn. Anyway, what about anime? In the 2000s, we saw the tail end of the enormous Dragon Ball hype from Toonami, which bled into burgeoning hit shows like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Shows that were a gateway for the generation after my own and legends in their own right, extending well into the next decade. However, in the early 2010s, there was nothing of that sort bringing American audiences over like we had previously seen. However, there was The Walking Dead. After 2007's Big Bang Theory, and 2008's MCU debut of Iron Man, 2009 was the year the geek dam cracked, and 2010 was the year that it broke with AMC's The Walking Dead, a show based off a comic from an indie publisher, Image. Thanks to Hollywood and Toonami, by the turn of the decade, things like video games, comic books, and anime were widely accepted and no longer just for dorks. But thanks to The Walking Dead, they were now cool. This show set a new precedent in mainstream media. It was on late, 11 p.m. for us on the East Coast and on Sundays of all days. And it was disgusting, brutal, and horrifying. I remember being absolutely shocked that something like The Walking Dead could be on cable at all, yet there it was, and it was huge. It truly turned the tide of what was acceptable to a mainstream audience and set the stage specifically for Attack on Titan. By 2014, zombies had arguably become the most popular and most overdone enemy of mankind in media. But the premise of The Walking Dead was that the humans are the true enemy in a post-apocalyptic world, which isn't the most original idea. Anyone who's read The Road can tell you that, but apparently people don't read. And it was new enough for zombie TV. But just when things were really starting to get stale, we got a breath of fresh air from the East with a new take on the zombie formula, Attack on Titan. The show revolves around three friends whose peaceful lives within a walled city nation are destroyed when mysterious, giant, unfeeling, seemingly invincible human-eating monsters called Titans storm in. They're mindless and destructive like zombies, but horrifically powerful and quick, and just, it's like zombies on crack and steroids, and just wow. I remember watching the first episode and being like, holy shit, I missed stuff like this. The destruction and brutality the Titans bring is terrifying. Their disturbing, surrealistic faces and movements are gruesome, and simply no one is safe from their unbiased desire to kill. As the story progresses, the main characters join the military to fight the Titans using the Spider-Man-like 3D maneuver gear and dual razor swords. Plus, they have these cool little jackets like trunks. I really like those cool little jackets. Much like The Walking Dead, the air of no one is safe plagues the viewer of Attack on Titan. Characters die. Important characters die, and they die horrifically and gruesomely, adding an air of suspense and drama to an already pretty engaging show. And if that wasn't enough, the mystery behind the Titans and behind the world at large is one that pulls on you as you watch the insect-like humans try to protect themselves against a horrifically powerful and unfeeling enemy. And when Eren Yeager becomes a Titan for the first time, it is truly a what the actual moment, as well as the inevitable question of whether or not it's the Titans or humanity who is truly the enemy in this situation. But again, the merits of the show have nothing to do with its importance culturally, so I'll leave it at that. However, Attack on Titan's effect on Western pop culture is unique. In 2014, streaming was becoming more common, but it was still new. Many people hadn't ditched cable yet, and sites like Funimation and Crunchyroll were only starting to hit their inevitable stride. Hell, Crunchyroll was still trying to get rid of its sketchy bootleg image it garnered for itself in the late 2000s. Both sites received Attack on Titan as simulcast in 2013, but due to the platform's general lack of popularity, the show went largely unrecognized outside of the community. Despite it being the #1 anime in Japan that year, and being the #1 anime on Funimation, it wasn't until Netflix picked up the show in January of 2014 that the bomb dropped. Of all the streaming sites out there, Netflix is by far the most popular, boasting a whopping 137 million subscribers in late 2018 to Amazon's 100 million and Hulu's 20. And let's not forget, Amazon only has that many because video streaming is bundled with Prime. What goes on Netflix often becomes not only relevant, but widely known and commercialized. However, one of the most curious and important aspects of Attack on Titan's explosion in popularity was its lack of a dub. I firmly believe that Attack on Titan finally legitimized anime in its entirety to America. Where the vast majority of people looked at sub-anime like they did foreign films, i.e. screw that, I don't want to read, that goes over my allotted 17 minutes of pleasure reading, the draw and popularity of Attack on Titan brought over an entire new audience to subbed anime as a whole, but even more importantly, it brought an entire new generation to anime as a whole who started with subtitles. A little while ago, I did a video on Sailor Moon in which I explained how I got into anime. In that video, I asked what our audience's first anime were. We received many comments explaining that Attack on Titan was their introduction to anime. Until that point, that wasn't something I had ever really thought about. But Attack on Titan is this decade's Dragon Ball Z, this decade's Naruto or One Piece. It hit at a perfect time, played the perfect notes to the cultural background of the geek bubble and zombie obsession. It was easily accessible to the majority, and most importantly, it was cool. Not only did it bring a fresh new audience to anime without any fan service, but it brought up a new generation of viewers who appreciate subs, who made transitions to Crunchyroll and Funimation with ease, not only bolstering their subscriber numbers, but legitimizing their sites and streaming as a whole. Since then, Crunchyroll has gone from 200,000 premium members to over 2 million and over 45 million regular subscribers. After the success of Attack on Titan, we've seen Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu trying to get their hands on as much anime as they can, or simply making their own to meet the constant demand. Not only that, but the mysterious plot and the massive gap between season 1 and 2 of the anime, Attack on Titan converted many people into manga readers, myself included, skyrocketing the franchise into the number 3 slot of the second bracket of top-selling manga of all time at 90 million copies in circulation in April 2019. To put that into perspective, Attack on Titan has sold more than Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter, Fairy Tail, and Yu Yu Hakusho, just to name a few. It's also been around for a far shorter time span than everything I mentioned, only 10 years. Unlike Dragon Ball, the mystery and lack of Americanization in Attack on Titan drew me to its manga. I needed to know what I was missing, and for me, it was a big step out of American comics and into a larger world. One I definitely didn't take alone, as manga sales are now dominating Marvel and DC in the West. This is a medium that they said would not ever catch on in the West, and now manga is bigger than Marvel and DC. Now, was Attack on Titan a fad? Yes. Is Attack on Titan the best anime ever? No. Is it the best manga ever? Hell no. Is season 3 good? I think so. Was there way too much cringy merch and cringe kids making me cringe outside of my local Hot Topic for like 4 years? Yes, but regardless of these subjective opinions, I think it's impossible to deny the impact this franchise has had on pop culture in anime and manga in the West as a whole. The explosion not only garnered a new generation of anime fans, but one willing to watch subtitled anime. It reached adults. Hell, my coding professor wore a Scout Regiment coat to class every day. It caused many to jump into the world of manga for the first time due to its alluring plot, which I mean is a big jump. Reading backwards is scary, you know? Most people can't even read forwards. Whether Attack on Titan is good or not is not the issue. It's the massive impact of the show, which makes it undoubtedly the most important anime of the decade. Hi, My Hero fans. I'm sure that you're upset that I did not mention your favorite show. However, Boku no has not had enough time to make the kind of impact that Attack on Titan did. Although the manga is selling extremely well, it's number 2 on the top 50 list or so of graphic novels. So, you know, it's up there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for making it till the end. If you guys want to continue to support the channel, watching our videos is awesome. But if you would like to go a step forward, please consider checking out our Patreon, like our awesome Ultimate Lucky Patron of the Week, EvyChick90 did. Thank you, Amy, so much for your support. We really appreciate it, and it's been great getting to know you a little bit in the Discord. Also, I suggest checking out our Twitter and Instagram. It is a great way to keep up with us and get in contact with us if that is something that you are interested in doing. On both platforms, it is bonsai_pop. And I promise that we will bless your timeline with fantastic content like we do here on YouTube. Third, we cannot forget to shout out our Super Saiyan God tier patron, Sammy the Hammy. Samu, thank you so much for everything that you do for the channel. You are a huge supporter here and on Twitch and on Twitter. You're on the Discord all the time. We love you, man. Thank you so much. I am loving the Zone Tan Dakimakura that I sleep with every night. I'm sure we'll insert a picture of that in here. It's not weird. It's totally cool. But yes, Sammy, thank you so much. You are our Super Saiyan God tier. If you would like to be a Super Saiyan God tier supporter like Sammy, you're a crazy person, but definitely check out our Patreon because we could use your help. Seriously, guys, I know that we hawk it a lot, but there are 4 of us who work on the channel very hard. We also work on Treesicle. We're pumping out about 3 videos a week. And because of there's 4 of us, we split our money 4 ways. So even all the money on Patreon, that goes to all 4 of us evenly. Because we are our team, we need to make more money than somebody who is an individual, and we try to recycle that back into higher quality content than an individual could make. But we are always going to run into roadblocks, as you saw with Tokyo Ghoul. That video was taken down by the publisher, even though it was within fair use. There was nothing wrong with that video. We had to wait 3 weeks to get it back, and it really kind of hurt the momentum of the channel. And then on top of it, you have videos like Devilman Crybaby, which was demonetized before we put it out, and then after we put it out, somebody complained and got it age gated. And when stuff like that happens, YouTube doesn't share the content on the platform. The only people who are going to see that content are people who are specifically looking for it, or people who come to our channel, or people who see it in the subscription box. Even then, when it's age gated, if you're not 18 or can't prove that you're 18 or you have parental blocks, you're going to be locked out of it, and that really, really sucks. We edited that video. It is censored. We had to get that video reviewed 3 times. 3 times we sent that video to YouTube. The first time it was cleared for monetization, the second time it was reviewed, it was age gated, and the third time it was reviewed, they decided to keep the age gating on it for whatever reason, and it really sucks. It was an awesome video. We put a lot of effort into it. Grant did an amazing job with the script, and it hurts to see stuff fail like that, and that's where our patrons come in. That's where you could come in, even for a simple $1. Something like that helps us be able to make videos that we want to make, like Devilman Crybaby. That's important. What if we want to cover ecchi? You know, what if we want to cover High School DxD? What if we want to cover some like cat girl show that has a lot of butts in it? You know, it's scary to do because of the way that YouTube is. But if we were making that money back, we could financially be able to do that. I'm sure a lot of you guys would love us to do some kind of Neko show. I would love to do a Neko show. I love cat girls. What can I say? I like them. Anyway, the long and short of it is that you simply watching our videos is awesome. It's so much support. If you would like to take it a step farther and guarantee that the show will continue to go on in an uninterrupted way, and by that I mean YouTube won't be sticking its tentacles into our lewd areas and making us do what they want to do, Patreon is the place to help us out with that. And like I said, Twitter and Instagram, that helps, but that's just for you. That's just more entertainment your way. We have a lot of good benefits, so definitely check out Patreon. That's all I ask. Just give it a look. Just give it a little look, a little tiny look. Anyway, thank you again for watching. My name is Mike. This is Bonsai Pop, and I will see you next time. Get ready. Grant is going to be on here next week with a brand new story you never knew. It's going to be really good. I'm excited about it. And then we already have the next episode lined up for the week after that, and it's going to be cool. So check it out. I'll see you next time. I'm going to stop rambling now. Bye. Goodbye.